All right, we're back for the last map of the night here between Liquid and Selfless. And honestly, are you expecting that bar burner, or are we going to have a snoozer?
I think it's leaning more towards, yeah, I mean, you're honest at least about it. I think it's going to be more towards the snoozer than anything else.
I'd say that's very rude and ridiculous.
Yeah, well,
but you know what's not a snoozer? That is Eric DeBear Stromberg standing by at the telestrator to walk us through a little bit of Cbble.
Thanks, guys. Here we are looking at BMC. Who do you say? The BMC? That's B's Money Crew, a premier team that happens to beat Selfless. A premier team. Well, I mean, I think any given Sunday is a good thing, but when you consistently lose to premier teams, maybe something has to be done, Ryu. Just kidding. Anyways, back to the replay here. We got it on Cbble as we see Selfless setting up for a little B take, little drop platform take. Nifty's getting in position to set up a flash. You see Haha and CJ and Gladiator. Kabusi is going to sneak up towards there. You know, Nifty watching flank, make sure that everything's okay. But here's the problem. He misses his flash on the first one, but that's okay. He has two flashes, guys. He has two flashes. One is obviously a fake, a decoy, whatever. But the second flash, which works, gets it. CJ King swings out, gets a nice, easy kill on Seb. Caboose with a nice exchange. Nice entry kills, nice spacing by Selfless. As we have Haha, I'm assuming it's DSR, who knows? Who knows these days? As he's holding the rock drop E-box area, covering the flank, good spacing, good communication, and I'm finally glad that last person's watching the flank. You know how many times it drives me nuts when you do a strat and the last guy never watches the flank? It drives me crazy, but they did it right. They did it good. Nice, simple strat. They ended up losing the match, but they won the round. Back to you guys.
Thank you. All right, Vendetta, give me a quick prediction before we go into this. We've got Selfless, Liquid, Cbble.
Liquid, Stomp, Selfless on Cbble.
Well, all right then. Yeah. That is just a little aggressive, but that is fine. Standing by are none other than Blue and Dazed, and they're going to be taking it away from here. So, take it away, guys.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so a stomp, Days, would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I think, especially looking at that T-side on Cash, like Liquid is a lot better in all those chaotic scenarios, and I think they might start creating those on Cbble, like really aggressive strats that they were kind of leaning towards the end of the Cash, game. I think they could probably kind of stomp them doing that, just like 4 guys, pop flash out early B, jump out. This Selfless team, I mean, this is a team that was actually officially relegated before Echo Fox died, if you remember. Then Echo Fox lost their roster spot and they played Splice for it and just scraped by and got in. So this is a team that, is definitely towards the bottom of the rankings, and they're playing against a team that, in my opinion, is going to compete for Cloud9 as the best NA team. I think I'm kind of leaning towards what I think is going to happen with Liquid is I think they might be better internationally, but I think head-to-head Cloud9 will beat them just because I know how Stewie kind of just remembers everything in that giant Asian brain of his. And he remembers like all the tendencies of everybody, and he's like, oh yeah, Stan likes doing this, JDM likes doing this, and he'll just be able to like win rounds based off that. And so I think country v country, I think Cloud9 will best them, but I kind of think internationally Liquid is going to end up being better. I think they have the better international, roster.
All right, well, we are getting into the second map here now. Our last one of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Team Liquid will start off on the T side with Selfless jumping over towards CT. And immediately, we will probably find ourselves in the action here, too, as Team Liquid going pretty much, what you expect for the pistol here on this map. Everybody deploying out towards B to just try to do a 3-2 split. What will more than likely turn into smokes, or what smokes were purchased here from Selfless will probably hold back the tank for a couple of seconds. But actually, Selfless getting rather aggressive, especially with these 2 players up on the Broken Wall approach currently. It's DSR along with CJ trying to play it out here, but they're not going to be too hesitant about that. Team Liquid still going in, and they have the split coming back in from the other side of this one, too. And at the moment, actually, it's Selfless able to successfully hold. Trades are rolling in, but still 4-2 advantage now for overall here. It's left to Elige in a 1v3. However, he rolls right in, picking up that first one. He does have eyes on the second one, and the third is actually nowhere to be seen in this site. It's Nifty, who still has to lurk his way back around. Keep in mind, still a minute on the clock to work with, too. And Elige trying to check every which way. The one area he hasn't checked, though, maybe what spells his doom. He's over on the broken wall there. And he's going to find the last player, and he actually might start checking for it now. He sees it, and he tries to flick into it, but it will not work out. Nifty will close it down, and Selfless will take control of the pistol.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Elige didn't recognize that he was flanking a lot earlier than that, and after he got that kill, just book it towards A. I thought he would have recognized that once he got that kill onto Slemmy. Instead, challenges Nifty, essentially, and loses. But this is how Cash started, if you remember. I think Selfless won the pistol, or maybe they won the first round, Liquid did, and then they traded like the first 4 rounds. So we'll see if we get a repeat of that. Liquid going 1 towards B, probably around the drop room, 4 towards A right here, kind of jumping through the A halls, and they're jumping through the smoke. So this might be something that Selfless isn't ready for.
Yeah, we can see Liquid moving in to try and systematically kind of clear out the A long and mid connector areas. So they don't spot anything from the Selfless side of things. So they'll keep a few players inside, mainly of the Suicide Step series. We can see them kind of just posting back and waiting. Let's see if Selfless will re-peek to look for any intel. Won't be the case, though. They're just playing a safe 2 on the bomb site, and that 2 specifically in this case being both DSR and Slemmy. Sitting back over there around the right side of the APC, outside of the rat hole room, and then up on the platform itself too. But for the rest of the team, including the bomb now, it has been sent over into the B halls. So a possible change up for Liquid maybe in the future, that or just trying to drop split this as we did see an attempt made at in the last round too. But it's actually going to be a reverse split going into B instead. Stanislaw even finds his first kill on the way in. Problem being, though, Caboose was able to successfully hold drop for right now, but that's going to change. Pimp trades out the kill. DSR, though, coming in on the backside. He does take down Elige, but Pimp finding yet another frag. Nifty holding up on the broken wall approach here. He is going to be able to bring this back down to a 2v2 after he takes down Stanislaw. Pimp will also get knocked out, so again, it's a clutch scenario here for someone on Team Liquid. This time, though, it's Nitro, but he's already found the first kill. The bomb has gone down, however, so he's got to stick into this site, but it's planted in a perfect position for Nitro to play it out if Nifty were to stick it. So this is going to be tough, to say the least. Smoke, Flashbang will go back in, and that'll send Nitro back a little bit here. And again, he's just playing this as passively as possible, wasting as much time as possible. Nifty realizes this, though, so he doesn't decide to continue that chase. He'll rush over here to the bomb, jump himself on it. He's sticking it this time, too. Does his opponent realize it? Nitro's pushing back in, but it's far too slowly, and the defuse will roll back in, giving Selfless control of the round.
Yeah, bit of a misplay by Nitro there, not recognizing that he need to get back towards the bomb just a second off, and that 1 second cost him the round. But, you know, their buy here is going to be almost equivalent to Selfless, so I'd assume they do it again and just buy up right away, but we'll see after that replay. Yeah, so they do, and they have a much better buy than Selfless, in my opinion. I mean, Selfless has, you know, 3 SMGs, 2 M4s. They have 2 AKs, 2 SMGs, and a FAMAS. Pretty equivalent nades, but I think it's a better buy because I think it's an easier job to win when you're on T side versus a buy like this than when you're on CT side, especially on a map like Cbble.
So Team Liquid again spreading out a little bit more heavy on the B side of things this time, as we can already see aggression towards drop within just the first 20 seconds of the round. They still have 2 kind of investigating over there towards the Suicide Steps, and again, A long by extension of that as well. But no presence once more from Selfless. They've remained rather passive when it comes to A long. So Slemmy's just going to hang out at the entrance towards the alleyway, and DSR sits in the door. No other action beyond that, though, although this may be changing in just a few seconds here. It is looking like Team Liquid wants to start to venture out to get control of Broken Wall along with the drop and start this kind of a B hit here. Caboose waiting behind the box could prove dangerous with the possible Molotov being tossed back. As there goes there for a smoke here. He does molly off the right side. And the Molotov that was tossed back over there does end up going way too far back, so it's not going to burn him out of position. Team Liquid, though, do abandon all of their pushing power over here towards the Broken Wall for right now. Everybody goes into drop, and now they're drop splitting A. As they swing out, Pimp gets the first kill. Now Stanislaw can post up to watch out for any aggression coming out from that B-bomb. So he does have to watch behind him here, too. He's going to give him plenty of warning, though. CJ not being quiet about this one at all. Very easy for him to spot that, and this looks like it's going to be an easy cleanup now for Liquid after everything is said and done here.
Yeah, very easy, and they're going to win this round pretty cleanly. There's even an M4 that they're going to be able to pick up in connector if they want. Caboose just looking for exits with Nifty. They do pick up the M4. So upgrading their weapons, and Nifty just doing everything he can to save his gun here.
Yeah, Nifty pretty far detached from this, but actually almost getting caught with a trade out there, it looked like for a second, but it still remains alive.
I think Elige probably saw him.
I think he did too. He was looking right at him, or at least in Nifty's case, he was looking at his opponent, but maybe Elise was looking in a different direction. Regardless, they're both going to move back in. Caboose is able to hold for one so far up on top there. He's distracting a lot of them too. Nifty even picking one up too as he knocks down Pimp. He's going to wrap around the corner looking for Nitro. He's got the angle there to take him down. So
great save.
Yeah. Both save, and they not only save, but they also knock down a combination. I think it was 3 players from Liquid end up going down at the end of the round.
Yeah, and what Liquid did is they kind of threw nades towards B, and they had the read that there would be 2 towards A. So they kept that B guy towards E-Box, and that guy E-Box actually smoked himself out. It was free passage through the connector. As long as they trade kill off that guy at the doors, they're probably going to win that round because the rotate kills are just so easy there. When you take connector like that and the players coming from B and drop in the door are like the easiest kills. There's just so many good angles for the T's to take. Very difficult for you to rotate once that spot is taken.
Well, beyond that, we do have Team Liquid again spreading out and taking their time here in the 4th round, since Selfless still have a little bit of firepower to work with here. Mainly for those that did have to reinvest, just being Deagle armor buys. In fact, Slummy's not going to even be able to go for that. He just has a P250 pickup, but you still have those 2 players with saved guns, and that's going to be something that Liquid will have to worry about a little bit here. In fact, they've stopped a lot of their early aggression out towards A-Long, which was a key in the past round. In fact, Stan getting caught in a bit of an awkward situation there, but Slemmy not able to actually follow through with the kills. Stanislaw is given time to not only recover, but pull out his gun as well. DSR, though, goes off in the suicide steps, trades out 2 kills before being taken down himself by Stan. He's following through. We're even in a 3v3, but CJ over-peaking there against the Legion. He will very quickly take him back down. Caboose trying to rotate back in and catch any players here and try to move over there inside of the shed. And it works out as they actually have a double stacked, and now Nifty's going to get a second one too. So it's Nitro looking to clutch. Thankfully, he's got Caboose down very low, sees the headshot angle there, but he actually can't connect it just yet. And now they're both going to swing back out, and Caboose shuts down the last player on Nitro, and somehow Selfless went out that round.
Yeah, just way too aggressive, I think, from Elise there. I mean, they have the smoke on connector, they have the Molotov heaven, and if Elise could take that peek back, I guarantee you he would. I think getting a little bit too frag happy there. They have a nice crossfire if they come out that rat hole as long as his teammate takes contact and then he peeks, they win the round for sure. But instead, it gets very, very aggressive. And had he waited till Stan took contact and then peeked, that round's 100% over.
Well, Liquid's still buying into this one, but unfortunately, already seeing one of their players getting tagged here. That's Stan, down at 9 HP after trying to go for a cross there in the mid connector. He'll be brought down very, very low, and it's probably going to have to play very passive for the rest of the round. For everyone else on the team, though, they all group up at the outside of B and are probably just going to go for a very straightforward execute, countering out the Molotov that was tossed down here to burn out CJ, prevent him from doing anything. His smoke gets onto the ground there, so it burns it away. Nitro, though, is still going to try to utilize it to the best of his own ability as he looks to sneak through it here. CJ waits on the other end. As soon as he crawls out of it, CJ will more than likely be able to easily spot him, take him back down. There's a flash that works its way out here, and it works for Nitro. So he's going to be able to get 1 kill. Nifty rolling back in. He does trade onto Nitro, but Pimp still having a position up on top. Trades again, now in the favor of Liquid, putting this to a 4v3. Caboose having a nice lineup, but again, only 1 frag, and these are still favoring Liquid to a huge degree. After everything is said and done, we're left in a 3v1, and DSR is the one trying to clutch, but Elige just 1 taps from the other side of the site and destroys any chance of that happening.
Yeah, no, we'll see if Selfless wants to buy up here. Liquid, you know, they lost that last round, though, when they had him officially broke. Selfless, this is pretty much very similar to how Cash started. You know, it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, until finally Selfless was just like, all right, I'm done. You know, it's kind of like when you play chicken. They're like, all right, done. I'm stopping the buying. You know what? Like, you could probably take this round. I just want to get some freaking M4s and smokes and Molotovs.
So for the guys on Team Liquid heading into this round, they should expect a much easier time, although not necessarily a free time.
That was
for
like
them.
full molly.
The bouncing up on top and then heading into the hay bales there. It's going to send DSR back. He did realize it early on, so it was unaffected by it. And Slummy is trying his best to assist his teammate retreating down those suicide steps, but all was unsuccessful. Nitro and Elige both picking up their initial kills here. Pimp even getting into drop there and sorting things out pretty quickly. 1 more to go in this respect. They find him, and as CJ tries to sneak out from A along, he too is handled. No kills at all against Team Liquid, and they get a very clean 3rd round to tie us back up again.
Yeah, and they're going to buy here, but it's really not great. I mean, you know, 3,300 on 2 players, 4, and, you know, not even 4 mates on the other 3, but it's decent. It's good enough. You could really utilize Mag 7s, especially on this map, very, very well. There's multiple Mag 7 spots that you can make it work. It sucks on the rotate. Really bad on the rotate on this map, but besides that, you could definitely make it work very, very well. Now, this is going to come out very quick, this B hit, but they're making a lot of noise, so Selfless should be ready.
Well, they're pushing back in here now. Nifty hanging out down below, but okay. He's gifted a kill against Nitro. Caboose also finding 2 from up on top. He almost gets a 3rd. But by the virtue of running out of ammo, he'll be taken down by Elige. Even again, 2v2. Problem being, though, is, yeah, he just will take a moment here to reapply the smoke on Cross. Stanislaw, though, just pushes right past that and is going to get right up to the door. Selfless have not tried to hold control of this door anywhere else on the site, for that matter, at all. And this is going to open up, assuming Elige can hold this doorway in front of him now, this is going to open up a wide flank potential that could just pretty much destroy these two. Elige, though, was not watching out for it, so he has let them into the site. But here comes Stanislaw on the backside. In fact, Elige has already handled the first kill, and there's that flank coming in beautifully to allow for essentially a 0-risk 2v2 victory from Team Liquid.
Yeah, and they're taking, I think they're winning by far the majority of these 2v2s, but I don't think that's like a strat that would really work against, no offense to Selfless, but a better team. Like, they're letting them know they're there. They pretty much knew that was a B take for like a good 7, 8 to 10 seconds before they even actually hit it. And I think against, you know, better teams, that's not going to work out for you. I think the rotate's going to come too quickly, and the contain's going to come, and you're not going to be able to get much out of that. But it seems every time they do these like brute force strategies, I know they won twice against it on Cash near the end as we are into an eco here, but it just seems like Liquid gets it down into like a 2v2, just a manageable situation, sometimes even a 2v3, and then they're able to win, you know, all those tightly contested rounds.
Selfless being placed into a full eco round here. Again, really won't be expecting anything crazy from them. They also have gone for a bit of a heavier stack than B, but have not gamble stacked it, which means, systematically speaking here, Liquid should more than likely be able to shut this back down. They did sneak in 1 kill, and they dinked Pimp too, but it's only down to 41 HP, not a huge play. CJ sneaking another kill, so they're actually doing quite a lot of damage. They almost find an additional kill into Nitro here as well, but they get control of it, and Nifty as the last man standing. He's hiding in that smoke somewhere. Pimp will spot him as soon as he tries to push back out, and it's Liquid getting their 5th now.
Yeah, but now Selfless does have a great buy. They're going to be able to pretty much get everything they want. I think if they op, though, it'll probably be like a op half armor with a smoke or something. Yeah, so just op half armor on DSR. And we haven't really seen Selfless have much op impact. Nifty decides to double op, just... and as soon as I say that, DSR opens it up. But, you know, back to Cash, JDM was having a decent impact. I think he top fragged during the map and was really doing a good job of making it 4v5 a couple rounds that they needed it. But DSR hasn't really been able to do it the same. He needed that one blind shot at B, but then he got traded afterwards. It is 3v5 though, as Nifty is able to claim a kill of his own. And now Selfless finally should be able to, you know, punish the mistakes of Liquid. I mean, I don't think Liquid's playing at all like perfect or anything like that. I definitely see some flaws that could be exploited, but Selfless, up until now, hasn't really been able to capitalize off those mistakes, off those like brute force type strategies.
Relatively
great job by DSR.
Loose CS there from Liquid, and now DSR is going to be able to punish them again, getting a 2nd kill around. It's all ops that have been punishing things here. As the glass cannon out from Nifty even found a kill back over there, and he's been given all the room he needs to get aggressive, and basically all but, you know, 100% get the confirmation that there's no presence here. In a moment, if DSR goes for the jump up peek again on top of Shed, I think he may be able to spot the players. The problem being, though, is that, oh, the timing on that one. DSR jumped in, and if Stan had been sticking up there with the op, he may have had the opportunity to take him down. But now they've missed it. That op is still going to be a problem as they do go. When they do know where it is, so they can try to successfully molly it back out. But no, the molly misses, and it just fizzles into the air. Now the rest of the team is going to roll right back in, and there will be no impact at all. Everyone on Selfless stays at 100 HP as the guys shut it back down, and Liquid, unfortunately, fizzle out. Thankfully, they have a boatload of cash to work with, so buying back into this round is not really going to be an issue.
Yeah, JDM having a bit of a rough one right now, 1-7. So despite Liquid, you know, having 5 rounds on the board, not contributing too much towards this half so far. But having said that, you know, that was whenever you're in a 2v5 like that and you're in a round where even if they win the round, you could, you know, break them the next round, as Nifty's getting op boosted and dropped, so he might be able to clean it up here and make it 4v4.
Well, JDM, it was rough up to this point. All of a sudden, he's turned it back around with a nice little 2K here. Up to 3 overall in the game now after picking up those. And after those 2 kills, he is going to have to still hold on to site controls. He's kind of leading the charge by quite a few seconds here. Gets himself to the platform, though, and actually, I think that these 2 kills are enough. Look at the Selfless has no intention of retaking at all. They're going to completely get back up. The smoke in the door really seals the deal there. But they're just going to fall back and save as JDM goes from a bit of an issue to all of a sudden being the thing that pushes Liquid into an easy 6th round.
Yeah, there's no chance for them to win this. And there's a T already in the tower.
And Pimp should be able to hear him walking past downstairs, too, so that could be easy punishment if he just goes over here to the window. Has the angle. There you go. Hook, line, and sinker. Drop CJ to the ground. Meanwhile, over here, where the other 2 are holding in the castle, Caboose is having a much better time of trying to save their weaponry. They 2 dig down a Liege. Stan is going to be moving in a second to try and repunish that one. He's got a great angle, line at the headshot, and he follows through with the last one as well. So no saves for Selfless, and Liquid retake control, and also reset that losing bonus for Selfless more importantly.
Yeah, and that's big, but, you know, because Selfless won that round with 5 alive, look at the money on their team. Nifty, really the only one who's going to struggle weaponry-wise. Everybody else is going to be able to have AKs, and DSR, you know, feeling it. Gets picked off by JDM, and great shot onto Slemmy. Just wins that round by himself. As soon as I called him out, I said, JDM, you're being a noob this game. What's going on? And they actually save, Selfless does, so I'm very surprised by that. You know, I talked about this last night. When you're like the underdog, I think that conservative type of buying, I kind of stay against that. I think if you give the overdog like multiple chances to win gun rounds in a row, it's just, you know, you want to be pretty aggressive with your buys, I think, when you're the underdog, like Selfless is.
Well, we do have Team Liquid trying to go forward for fast B control again, but they are going to have to look forward to a bit of a stack here. Again, the problem being is that they are going to be pushing out towards A too, so after losing Nitro here, I'm pretty sure Pimp is going to hightail it out here because he especially doesn't want to lose the bomb since his other 3 teammates are having no problems at all getting themselves into that A site. Selfless will realize this, but again, they'll realize it a little bit too late. They've already been smoked off at the main doorway. Heaven's going to be very easily controllable here by the T's once they get up onto that platform. So there's not a lot of options for the remaining 4 Selfless players, and again, we'll have to back away and save in this 4v4. Even though it's even, they don't have any additional gunpowder beyond that AK sitting on Caboose, so it really is not going to be worth it. The good news is, though, is that because they still have so many players, they can try to post up and get a lot of exits here.
Well, they could try. We'll see if they do. They could get JDM's op down. That would be big, and maybe save it in this upcoming round. But they're going to have a really, really good buy here. But at the end of the day, it is going to be 4-7 Liquid. And again, I mean, it looks good for Selfless early, right? They're contesting very, very early on, somewhat cash, and then all of a sudden Liquid kind of breaks through and puts together quite a few rounds.
And all these attempts to find exits are not really working out very well at all. In fact, Liquid on the cusp of a Team Ace here in a moment. Fortunately, I get the knockback. JDM gets the kill, but no! DSR rolls in, and that is going to be the op on the ground and into the hands of DSR. No one even remotely close enough to be able to trade that frag back out. So DSR getting the op for free is a big up to try and save Selfless somebody heading into this one, and it will allow them to upgrade to a double up setup.
Nice shot by Liege.
And we can see the replays again from the previous round here as JDM was just trying to hold off on it. He did fend himself off for 1 kill there, but was ultimately overwhelmed at the very end of the round. So, as mentioned previously, double op setup again coming into the hands of Nifty and DSR. Full bot for both of them with Arbor along with utility. The last time they did this, they did have to go glass cannon on Nifty, but everyone else also having the M4s and also full utility buys. So Selfless are in good shape here, but now they have to follow through with the actual round itself. As Team Liquid actually kind of moving all over the place currently, but it seems like they are going to solidify into just going towards B.
Yeah, grouping up towards B, but Nifty is going to have an early spot. He's opping the platform, takes a peek, doesn't see anything. So this is like this is something that's a lot more difficult to execute from if Nifty kind of you know figures out what's happening really early on.
Push back in. Nifty looks to the timing shot, but is not going to be able to connect it. So instead, just mollies it off to prevent Liquid from going for a fast play. In the meantime, though, they still need to move in and specifically take drop controls. Pimp, I don't think that flash bounced the way it wanted it to. So he's going to end up hitting himself with it. Still, no CTs actually hiding out inside of the drop room itself. And the CTs do toss in a Molotov there, so it's going to delay them even more. Problem being, Liege did sneak through, and he finds DSR through the door. One more will take up a position from Slemmy, but no, now Pimp leaps out, and he picks up an additional kill. They know CJ's right behind that door. They bring him down to 3. But CJ will be able to take down a Liege. Although with those kills that they got close to the door here, they are going to push directly into A, get full control. CJ picked up a second kill, but he will finally meet his end at the hands of Pimp. Stanislaw taking in another player by the door, and there's really no hope for Nifty here. And oh, he didn't even see it through the corpse there. JDM was hiding up on the top side, so Nifty gives himself away, and it's Team Liquid with another round, up to 8 now.
Yeah, and they just get down drops so freely. And once they get down, just immediately get these kills in connector. I mean, that's twice now. They've just gone down drop, gone through connector, and gotten the kills towards A, and then just went up towards A. That was actually, I think, going to be a connector to B play. So they're going to jump out the window and go to B. But once they got that kill at A, and then they get another one, as soon as they got that first kill, the bomb was already rotating. And then they got the other one, and they were like, hey, let's just look into A as fast as we can.
And already you can see Elige is going back into the max. And they know this is going to be an eco. Already up to 2 frags. DSR, though, could cause some trouble. Waiting at the bottom of Suicide Steps. Oh, never mind. JDM is ready for that one. He spots it with the Tech 9 and takes him down. These last two, again, really far away from the action here, behind a smoke specifically. They have boosted Nifty up on top of it, where there's a little bit of an angle from the spot if Nitro wide peeks here. I think he's seen him, but maybe not. Yeah, there's the spot. But pretty quickly after that, Caboose just kills Nifty, apparently. And then Elige finishes the job by taking down Caboose.
Yeah, the Selfless going to be able to buy again. But we really haven't seen much of them in like, just making it difficult on Liquid. Liquid's kind of just done whatever they wanted throughout this entire game. Haven't seen any, like, calculated pushes. They did B plat control 1 time, no, 2 times actually, but both times they didn't really like force the issue at all. So Liquid has kind of been able to just do whatever they want. They haven't had much trouble in like having to change their plan or anything like that. You know, it's just, hey, let's do this. Okay. You know, like Liquid, you know, Selfless isn't doing anything to stop.
Yeah, well, we do have Nifty trying to play down below. Both of them that are inside of the site on the T side of the smoke wall, though, just get utterly obliterated for the most part here. They got Nitro down kind of low, and Slemmy is going to be able to hold for 1, but now the goal is to really fall back here and save this rifle, as ultimately it's Liquid again that just pummel their way into the site, get control, and they really, you know, they don't have to even break a sweat in doing it here. They only lost Stanislaw, and that was after they already had site control and he was moving out to hunt down the remaining players. So Slemmy will look to see if he can save the rifle. Pimp's going to peek him in a second, though, and he was watching for a push from the A bomb site, so he doesn't even suspect that. Pimp gets the last kill, and again, no saves for Selfless going into that last round. They'll just have to force him with whatever cash they can afford to buy up.
Yeah, and it's been a rough second part to this half. I mean, Liquid just giving up, I think, 1 round after it was, I think it was 3-1 for Selfless, or was it 3-2?
I think 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1, right? And ever since then, they've only won 1 round, and Liquid's just taking control. And it's almost like they're just dry running out here. And it's actually like the best feeling as like an in-game leader when you're Stanislaw and just everything you're calling is working. And just, you know, you're throwing nades to dictate the rotation, and then things are open, and you take advantage of them every single time. So,
well, Liquid actually a bit more spread out this time, as we even have players sitting at the back of the fountain. Early Molotov's going into drop, though, and Caboose actually wants to stick inside of it. Behind the box here, we can see as we turn off the X-ray that he's not going to be able to see anyone just yet. They're both still hiding behind the threshold of where he would be able to spot them, and both actually do end up kind of bailing out temporarily. I think Nitro is going to redeploy a smoke over here to still make it look like they're going to try to go for it, but they counter boosted. Nitro spotted it, but CJ still ends up coming out on top to take down Nitro, so they get the early 5v4 advantage here. And Liquid's still really not a decisive decision being made about where they actually want to take this bomb. They're still kind of spread out between both sides, playing into a default.
And that was good by them, though. Like, those are the type of plays they need to try to take, and battles they need to try to take to stop Liquid from just 5-man executing wherever and doing whatever they want.
Well, time getting a little bit lower here. Selfless still kind of eagerly awaiting to see where they're going to push to as they're split 3-2 across the map. Most of the defenses from drop actually have gone outside of the room, so it's going to be a little bit more open now, and that could prove to be an issue as both Elige and his teammate do drop in there. Pimp also going to get second kill against Nifty. CJ waiting outside is not going to be able to impact any further, as Elige will just drop him, and now the last two, well, they were on A, so much like many rounds in the past, they're going to be getting completely smoked out and boxed out from really being able to do anything effective. But this time it's on the 15th round, so there's not really going to be an option to save. They just have to go right for it. And Pimp is sitting at the threshold waiting for it. He basically gets both of those kills, but Slemmy, even though he gets brought down to 13 HP, he's still able to fall through with the second before finally being knocked out there by Stanislaw. Team Liquid, same exact scoreline as the map back on cash there. 11-4 is the advantage they will hold. We'll see if they'll be able to keep that dominance going as we head into the second half here. In just a few minutes, our final map of the evening at the ESL Pro League will be continuing.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
Well, welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen. Here, our final map of the evening. It's continuation due to start in just a moment here. Selfless still down, certainly not out yet, though, but they have a lot of ground to make up. 4-11 on Cobblestone here, heading onto their T side now.
Yeah, and I mean, the same exact story, right, from Cash. Selfless kind of battles a little bit, and then they stop the bind. Liquid wins that round clean, and then they just roll and just put together so many rounds in a row. And Selfless, you know, finally gets back on the board, gets like one more round after that. But yeah, I mean, Liquid just looks like the much better team. Like I said, they're just kind of dry running throughout the map, doing whatever they want. Selfless not really showing them any wrinkles of anything different, you know. I think they did a little bit of B plat control. DSR tried opting like aggressive middle, but you know, when I'm talking about like getting the advantage, I'm not really talking about just going an op battle versus JDM. You know, it's something where you try to, you know, do something like a calculated risk and things like that, and that's not what we see from Selfless. Meanwhile, when we watch Liquid and they play on different maps, you know, we consistently see Stan change his setup, change the look that he's giving the other team, try to take the advantage, take the battle somewhere else, and then leverage that into a round win. You know, we're not seeing any of that for Selfless. We're just seeing them, you know, just kind of play a default.
Yeah, and just play it by ear, essentially, like that.
Yeah,
you know.
and that's not going to work. That's just not going to work against a team like Liquid.
And the other problem is, as a result of that, too, there was... I think there was about like 5 or 6 rounds in that half where Team Liquid were able to just push into the site, take control, smoke off out the site door, and then the last two. All right, well, we got to save because they had no other choice because there's no retaking that in the 2v4, even like a 2v. There was, I think it was one where it was a 2v2.
Cobble's really difficult to retake if your teammates die quickly. If your teammates die quickly, it's one of the hardest maps to retake because it's just so difficult to, what are you going to jump out of heaven? It's like, there's 45 angles you have to look at and they could be underneath you. It's crazy, right? And then at B, the stairs are just so difficult to push off, and now Stan just... Are you trying to boost there, Nifty? What are you guys doing, man?
Just dominating them outside of the entrance.
But you know what? Selfless did the same thing on their CT pistol. But you know what they did? Instead of fighting like that and taking the battles, which are very CT-sided battles, they kind of just played around the smoke and like hid and whatnot. And it was like, it was very questionable. Liquid knows they have an advantage there. You know, USPs versus Glocks, very good headshot angles, right? You have a guy pushed up, a guy backing him up, right? You could take those battles, you know, and not be afraid. And just kind of knowing where you could take battles on the map to maximize your chances of success is something that Liquid does, you know, a lot better than Selfless. And I think that pistol round kind of shows a little bit of that.
Well, we are going to see actually a 2-for-1 trade as they do move out for drop control. DSR is left as the last man standing after everything is said and done. So he'll have to still battle his way onto one of these 2 bomb sites. Stan's really trying to circumvent fighting this, however, as he does go back inside of the drop room. But I actually think DSR reads this. He's going to go hunting for Stan. And Stan is still looking the other way, so he's going to be able to get the instant headshot against Stan. And now he's been able to bring it down to 1v1. Still plenty of time and plenty of room, too, as Elijah is really far off on the rotate to be able to get this ball onto the ground and get into whatever post-plant position he wants to play towards. He's chosen the sidewalk for right now. It will work out, assuming Elijah does not check it. But he's hugging the wall right now, and he's going to go into the transition room. That'll let Elijah swing back in, but ultimately Well, this is all going to be very, very close. Elige does not check the other room, so currently he's looking behind him here. DSR has a free angle, but he does not immediately execute him. He goes back behind it again, really just trying to waste time. Elige does not have a kit, so he needs to get aggressive and go hunting for this kill. Otherwise, time is going to run out here. Swings around to it, gets the damage in. DSR playing this perfectly right now. Elige getting up close and personal, but he can't execute, so they resolve to knife fight. Elige will win it, but it doesn't matter as time has run out, and Selfless are going to be taking control of the pistol.
Yeah, not enough for him to buy an M4 though, 30-50, but you know, he can get, let's see what he opts to buy. I'm very curious because I'm assuming Liquid's probably going to buy here. 20 and 8 on Elige though. Whew. But good job by Selfless for winning that pistol. I thought it was over once they got those B kills, but the double jump out window, able to kind of get those kills and make it a manageable situation.
And it's actually going to be essentially
full buy or full save.
Full save. Yeah. No purchases at all except for Elige getting armor.
No,
but that's actually
that's
actually saved from the previous round. So nothing brought into the second round here. They are just going to be full saving and looking to the third round here, which begs the question is if they are going to just try and go for an all-out force in that round to try and surprise Selfless a little bit. We do still see Selfless spreading out again into a default, though. No real surprises for them in this second round. Regardless of whatever strat they employ, they should find it very easy to close out, since it is just going to be the USPs they'll be working against here.
Yeah, and it's not even like they're going to run into a stack, and even if they were stacked, they should spread out enough to easily win the round. So this should be just very cut and dry, smooth sailing for Selfless. Probably let these SMGs kind of get in position where they could, you know, take the action to them and try to farm a bit.
Nitro also being lit down here pretty heavily, down to 7 HP, and it's just a slow but systematic process of knocking out Liquid one by one, and it's working out nicely for Selfless. Last one is going to be Elige over here on the broken wall on top, but doesn't really pan out. Nifty takes him down with his own stolen USP, and Selfless will get up to 6 here. But now the money is there, and we'll see if Liquid try to do anything on this round.
I mean, they actually could get like an op no armor if they really wanted to, but I don't see why they would. I think it's better to just play it more conservatively. I still think they should have done this buy the round before though. Like I said, it doesn't make any sense because even if they win this round, they're not money breaking them. Someone's just gonna buy the round after, so it doesn't make any sense. But anyways, Nifty pushing drop gets early kill on Nitro. That nade's gonna do some damage too. Yeah, 60 onto Pimp. So.
Yeah, JDM also losing a little under 10 of his HP. But Elige will still post up very close towards the broken wall here. JDM also finding the kill against Nifty there inside of the drop room. So Selfless won't be giving up fighting just yet. Slemmy, in the meantime, has managed to infiltrate the A site currently, so he has himself a nice position between this APC and the wall leading over there into the shed. Failing to realize, though, that there is a player sitting up on top of the site shed. Stanislaw is going to be able to sneak in a kill there, but unfortunately just walks into the open as these guys from A-Long are pushing back out. So he sneaks in the kill there. JDM trying to find impact with his MAC-10, but keep in mind he has no armor, so it's a little bit tough to play that out. However, back over on the site, Pimp has found another pickup there. So they're disadvantaged right now, 3v2. They still have the advantage when it comes to just overall gun power right now, but it could go in the other direction. With that happening, though, getting the kill on the Pimp and finally sneaking out the frag onto him, things may resume back to normal. Elige also struggling to pick up that player on the platform. Caboose takes down JDM, so it's all on Elige here to 1v2, and he has Caboose in the corner, but he has to just go right into his face where that SMG is going to have a much bigger advantage.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he knew that the bomb was down. It kind of showed it on our screen, but I don't know if it was going to show it on his. But regardless, they get a lot of kills, 3 kills on the board, and now they're getting a full buy. JDM with half armor. Stan double opping actually. So they're going to give him the double op look, and we'll see what they do. Like, we'll see if they just are content with just playing like a default setup, or if they put pressure on certain areas of the map.
We do have Selfless, again, content to play into that default. And also having Stanislaw lit very early on, probably legging him there down to 14 HP. The rest of the team...
I didn't even hear an op shot, but I guess he must have gotten light. Yeah. I mean, that's usually what 18 HP it means.
The sound has been a little bit buggy recently, especially at long distances, to where like sometimes you just don't hear it for whatever reason. Might have something to do with the engine.
Wow.
Oh, all right. And they also spray in through DSR there to bring him down to 3 HP, so kind of returning the favor from before. So Stanislaw gets brought down to 14 after all of that. Stanislav down to 14, excuse me, but then DSR also sitting at 3, so it's essentially evenly traded here. Neither team actually able to get a full kill just yet, though. And time getting a little bit lower. Selfless have yet to move in. This more than likely will end up being the drop split into A. That is definitely what it's going to turn itself into, as you guys are also pushing out long A instead of ramp, where they would normally do that to swing in here through the connector and try to punish players while watching out for the drop split. Still, no traction really being made, though. And they start to pull away that second player from drop. Slemmy's going to regroup with the main pushing force back down below here, leading into A instead, so it leaves it all on Caboose to make his impact down there. DSR, though, finally being able to find a shot. It is on to Stanislav, so really just finishing off the frag, which they almost got earlier to begin with. And now, as they swing right back up here.
I don't think they're going to win this round. I mean, this is such a tough retake.
Team Liquid have been boxed out of the site completely. The smoke covering the doorway here. There's not a whole lot of room for them to work with. The time getting low, and not only this too, but they also have Caboose working his way in from the backside. From it drop, he's already taken down a Liege. He's going to be a little bit cautious. He doesn't necessarily just want to send his life away, but again, Team Liquid have been outclassed here, and they are going to have to back away and give Selfless an 8th round.
Yeah, if JDM could save this op, it could be a difference maker in the next round. So they're definitely going to try to do that. He's hopping towards the doorway, but that's a crucial mix. We'll see. A flash over could really hurt his chances of saving it. Pimp holding his drop, though, so CJ about to get in a battle right now. Nope, runs away.
Yep, he gives it up there. Again, keep in mind, Selfless are still trying to establish themselves on this half. So, not really going to be worth it to completely diminish their economies and trying to hunt
this
them.
is like the polar, well, actually, last time on Cash, I don't think Selfless won the first gun round, right?
No, they didn't.
But it was 4-11, and they won the pistol. So, but this time, they won the pistol and the first gun round on the second half. So things are looking up for them. They're doing a little bit better than they are on Cash. And again, they won the round, and they have a pretty good economy. They're going to have to lose 2 in a row before they have to save.
Well,
so.
If I recall correctly, by the time that Selfless was up at, by the time that Selfless got up to like 7 or 8 rounds, I think Liquid had already gotten to 15 by that point. So
really,
yeah,
no, because it was 4-11, and then they won pistol. No,
yeah. I could have sworn Liquid already got up to. It was like 15-7, and then they rounded. It was like 15-7. I know that for sure. So
yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I don't know.
So I think they won the first 3 to get up to 7, and then Liquid like just dominated from that point to get us 15, and then they won. Then Selfless won 3 more, and then Liquid won the last one to get 16. That's how it happened.
Gotcha.
Anyway, Team Liquid do resolve to force into this one here. JDM, we can see, already getting aggressive up in front, but in the meantime, Stanislav got taken down over on the T-ramp leading up to the A-bomb site, and JDM still having to deal with his pressure. He fails to realize, oh, the swing around kill action, and he gets a no-scope as well onto Caboose. There's one more down below, and he's going to sink it as well against DSR on the site. Nitro has also picked up a kill against CJ. Slemmy is already down to just the last man standing, and it's Pimp from the backside to finish off the round.
Oh my goodness, JDM just pulled out a miracle. But I don't understand why DSR peeked that with the op. Like, he saw him there. It's obvious that he's going to be doing it, and JDM's posted, and it's just like 3 HP, man. Your teammate's already up A after they got that kill. I don't know.
All right. Well, after that, Liquid finally kicking it into gear. That's their first round of the half here. Up at the 6th, or after up the 5th one.
This is a very pivotal round for Selfless. I mean, Liquid can afford to lose this round, but Selfless cannot afford to lose this round if you're Selfless. Nice pop flash comes out from the A halls. CJ spots it though, so Stan's gonna fall back, and they're gonna kind of give up that control. 4 towards B, excuse me, for Selfless. So they could line up for a B hit whenever they want. We'll see what they opt for. I think they're just gonna do like a full B exec here. Would be my guess though.
Yeah, the rest of Selfless is just sitting essentially lined up in your basic default and broken wall approach there. Molotov is going to send Caboose back while knocking off a quarter of his HP as well. So holding them back for a few moments here. But again, Selfless not really showing any initiation in the early round here. They're not really trying to force Liquid back at all. They're kind of letting them hold up front. And specifically, we can see this with JDM, since he's changed up his position, and he's going to be playing to counter out this aggression working its way out here. Lines it up. He almost has a double there, too, as I think he does hit CJ partially. I think he loses another 25 HP in the process, but he is the one that takes down JDM. And now as they do push the hit, able to hold for one, looking for the second. It's actually going to be Elige that gets that as they do take down Pimp, but Elige follows his own frag up with the second one against Slemmy. It's CJ looking to clutch 1v2 here now, but before he even gets one of them, Elige will put a stop to it. He'll end up with a 3K on the round, and Liquid will surge up to 13 overall.
Yeah, very well played by Pimp. And that's why a lot of people, you know, they don't go through the smoke with that flash. They kind of rely on their teammates in upper to flash for them towards the rocks that they could get out of E-box. He threw the flash for himself, banked it off the top, and Pimp just, you know, he dodges it along with Elige, and they're able to just multi-frag really easily while they're coming out of that E-box smoke.
So a pause coming in, presumably from Selfless, as the advantage has swung itself right back into the favor of Team Liquid. A 5-round deficit they are now up against here, and Liquid just 1 or 2 gun rounds away from being able to close out this set and go 2-0. Even one of these maps would be an absolutely tremendous victory for Selfless and raise their chances of now staying in the Pro League as we get towards the end of the season dramatically. So they certainly want to look for it, as they've had 2 maps with very close scorelines now, and if they can still round this comeback and get up to 13-13, then they'll certainly have a good chance to follow through and close out on the map overall.
Yeah, and it's so odd for the ESL Pro League right now, because the bottom 5 teams have a combined 2 maps.
Well,
the bottom 5 teams are a combined 2 map wins, right?
Yeah.
And 29 or 30 losses. I think if Selfless loses this, 30 losses. The bottom 5 teams are that's crazy.
It's not good.
That is crazy. Lopsided.
That probably just means we're going to have really skewed rankings at the end of the season, where there's just going to be a huge drop-off at a certain point in terms of a rating.
Yeah, I mean, that's brutal, man.
Yeah. Well, Team Liquid, again, having actually a pretty good advantage to shut down this round. Selfless are just on Tech 9 buys. Utility's okay, so like we can see here, they have enough to set up for like a usual execute to try and cover up the statue crossover here, so they can get up a little bit cleaner. But actually, one rolls, I think, a little bit further back than they would have liked. It covers a Jin Coop. JDM just gets overwhelmed, unfortunately. He isn't able to pick up anything with his rifle. Now Caboose is going to swing back in, too. It's Slemmy and DSR that have picked up quite a few frags. It does seem like Liquid's trying to get back control of this one, but it's left even at the end of the day. That frag on Nitro should solidify things, though, as they already know where Nifty is, and he's at like 5 HP. So there you go. Nitro solidifies his last 2 kills, and Liquid do get up to 14. Not bad damage, though, overall. Yeah, knocking out 3 players.
Terrifying Tech 9.
Yes. I was curious as to what happened there with JDM, as it seems like he just wasn't ready for that one. He had his pistol out for some reason.
Yeah, I'm still just amazed. 2 and 32. That's like that's the record for those bottom 5 teams.
That's rough. So what is that? How many?
Rough.
What's that as an average loss per team? That's like it's like 6. That's like 6 losses per team.
Yeah, it is.
So Selfless actually taking another pause here. I believe still technical nature, but it is going to be a rather short pause. So we'll get back into it pretty much immediately. The countdown timer has already resumed. See the stats again here, and beyond, like we see there on the Selfless roster, beyond Nifty, nobody over 70 ADR. My glance at that was correct. So really nobody showing up to the table beyond Nifty himself and fragging, and we really can't even account for any crazy individual performances there. CJ having himself a couple good rounds, but that's essentially about it.
Yeah, now just a Deagle on Nifty. He's had some success with it on Cash, but hasn't been able to really translate that success to Cbble right now. DSR just sacrifices for the team. He drops an AK, just has a Tech 9. Nifty did the same. So they did a double AK drop, one with a Tech 9, one with a Deagle. So they are really reliant on CJ and Caboose right now to win this round.
Well, we do see that Selfless are just going for that slow push up A long. Team Liquid did actually not put really JDM or anyone else in there to defend it this time around, however, so the defenses leading up towards A are very, very weak. But the counter is true as we take a look. Elige already has a flank coming in, and what's even worse is Nitro is completely shutting down this entire push up through A. DSR got 1 frag on Nitro, but that is it. And it was after Nitro already got 3 kills that he went down to that one. So certainly earning his weight before going down and getting knocked out there. Team Liquid now up at 15 rounds, and they are 1 away from closing out. And what's even worse is, again, look at this buy from Selfless. They're essentially just going to be back up on Tech 9's UMPs. I was waiting to see if we'd see a rifle in the mix there, but no, Caboose is just going to go with a Mac 10 instead. So a scrap together buy that could tell the end and could tell the tale of a 2-0 tonight for Team Liquid. as they are going to spread out and mainly focus on a defense over here towards B, and it's well warranted too with the opening stack from Selfless. JDM, he's already found himself a kill. Deep nade, looked like it was going to hit a player, but we don't see CSGO nade, so apparently, 1 damage on the Nifty is all it's going to do. They continue to get aggressive here, really to just hold back and ruin any of the plans from Selfless, since they did get kind of overwhelmed in the last round when they went for a buy like this. So if they can kind of scramble them a little bit, that'll be certainly great, as it'll make the round even easier for Liquid to shut down and take control of the map.
Yeah, Pin playing right underneath the drop, so they need a good flash. He bails out the very last second. And it looks like it's going to be just 4 drop. Jumps out, Stan getting 1 and dying, but he has all the info, so they know all 3 are in connector, and Nitro has a really good position.
Yeah, not sure if he's heard them jumping back down. Well, he's certainly going to see them now. Gets 1, gets the second, and everything falls to CJ. A 1v4 clutch in the hands of a Mac 10, and he won't even get close. Nitro grabbing a 3rd kill, and that will close it out. It's Team Liquid. 16-8 will be the final score line here. Very similar to our first move, actually. It was 16-10 on that one, so just 2 rounds off from that. Selfless certainly trying their best to put up a fight, but just not enough to strike down one of the best teams here in North America.
Yeah, and I mean, just such a lopsided league right now, man. Like, the top teams just do not lose, and the bottom teams just cannot contest with anybody, like, even in the middle of the pack, really. So there's, like, it's crazy.
I'm sure as we get further into the season, we still have many more weeks to go, we'll see some of those cross matchups between those lower teams.
Yeah, I mean, eventually they have to beat each other, so I don't know who made the schedule, but it was just brutal for all these teams near the bottom.
We're getting the predictable matches out of the way first, so we can see the close ones towards the end of it. But
the amazing close ones like Selfless versus Winter Fox.
To discuss the season rankings and, of course, the last map here, we're going to send it back over to our analysis desk to close out the night, guys. Go ahead, take it away.
Close out the night, put me to sleep. I mean, you go talking about Winter Fox. Good Lord. All right, so anyway, look, right there, Liquid, obviously the powerhouse we thought they were going to be coming into this.
Yeah, definitely so. And it was very telling what kind of issues Selfless would run into playing Cbble. Just not an easy gig versus Liquid in any case, no matter how good of a team you are. And you can see that Selfless never really were able to make Liquid uncomfortable in that first half. And obviously, if you're Liquid, and this is something Dasa said throughout the day, if you allow good enough teams to basically do whatever they want, it's literally like dry running strats for them in practice, and they're going to take advantage of that at any given opportunity.
You know, this is just a true example, all right, of Liquid just having all the freedom of movement they could possibly have across, the board here. We're gonna load up round 15. Liquid pretty much bulldozed Selfless in this one. Walk us through this one, Vendetta.
Yeah, so pretty much Liquid had the free control over dropper in the entire game, and this is one of the 2 times that Selfless actually tried to be proactive about it. So they're going to do a boost and drop, and they're actually going to get a kill. CJ finds that first frag, but while that's happening, Stanislav is making some noise towards A, which holds off an A rotation, and again, with time passing, Selfless give up control over drop room, and immediately Liquid just pounce on that, and defense gets spread out, and you end up in those situations that, again, they referred to, that retakes on this Cbble map is nearly impossible if your teammates die too quickly, because rotations are not going to be in time, and regardless if you're going towards the A or the B bomb site as a T, it's extremely hard for a CT. Both sides are so difficult to actually retake on.
I mean, 100% you're right. Selfless's drop room CT side play, it literally just plagued them the entire time.
Definitely. And
all that does is divide the map up. I mean, you're giving that freedom of movement yet again. For them to just do whatever they want.
Exactly, and you could tell that CJ didn't really find a good solution to how he wanted to deal with drop room. A lot of times you see him go back into E-box room and kind of smoke off that area, which again leaves a ton of room for Liquid to either just drop down, sit and wait out the smoke, and then get flashes for each other, or potentially split for A.
It's a rough one out there.
Yeah, it is.
Rest in peace. But we're going to look over today's matchups. I mean, we did have some pretty good ones, and, not so much of a close one there. We did see Misfits and CLG go at it early on into an overtime matchup, and then obviously we went into Inferno after that. Misfits was able to walk away with that W, so they traded maps, and then, as the story unfolds, Selfless unable to garner 16 rounds first here over Liquid. What's your takeaway from this?
I mean, again, a tiny bit disappointed by what we saw from Misfits and on Cash, but then again, positively surprised by CLG, really, how well they were able to play with a new addition into that team. So I know there are both negatives and positives on in that first matchup, and the second matchup kind of played out the way we expected it. But I would still recommend people who want to rewatch that to actually check out that cash game between Liquid and Selfless.
I could tell you where you get that, but we'll get into that in a minute. Let's take a look right now at the standings across the board, and let's start with the North American region, as we do see Liquid Cloud9 battling it out over them round differential at the very top, kind of as we did suspect, and then, a close following behind them would be SK, Misfits creeping up there as well. We did see Optic there. So obviously at this point, that pack is still starting to separate.
Yeah.
Days was just talking about it. There are some teams that, eventually they're going to have to play each other, and one of them going to have to get a W. That's just how it works.
Yeah. The way the table looks like, and you can tell it by the round difference that from 10 and down, it's not looking too great. But, yeah, no, it's going to even out, I guess, in some ways, because the lower end of the table are going to play each other eventually. But as of right now, it's kind of what you would expect with the favorites getting into an early start or a good start.
Well, we're going to go over now to your favorites. Let's go over to the EU side of EPL and take a look there. I'm going to let you do this one yourself.
All right, so North topping out, still yet to lose in EPL. A couple of games behind in that sense, but getting off to a great start. Mousesports somehow losing 2 maps played that they had from yesterday, somehow. But
it's a weird world out there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, time lapses and whatnot, or time is a fickle thing. But G2, obviously, the announced super team from France, still having a bit of a struggle, 1-6 so far. That's the biggest surprise to me so far. Astral is sitting at 2-4, even though they were 4-2 yesterday. Somehow, not too worried about them. They played with Zonic instead of Device yesterday, so they haven't been at full force in that sense. So I would expect things to normalize as the season progresses.
No, 100%. I mean, across the board, we're not even close to that halfway mark.
Exactly.
For the entirety of the season.
Yeah.
So some of these teams could still potentially be your dark horse, but they might want to actually get on that horse now and start riding.
Yeah. You kind of need to warm up and get in the be in the race. Yeah, exactly. You want to kind of be in the race before everything starts going. So
before the race leaves you behind.
Exactly.
And you don't want to be left behind when we're talking about going to the big land at the end of the road here. We're talking about going to Dallas. We're talking about some serious Counter-Strike. Get your tickets right now, proleague.com/Dallas. I could call you a square if you don't get them. I've said that one numerous times, but how about you just do it or else? How about that?
Sounds good to me. I definitely want to be there.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, you're a road trip from Norway. I'll go from wherever it's cool. We'll meet in the middle. But let's take a look at tomorrow's matchups, as we do have that in the last day of this week. We're going to bring you the Brazilians in SK and Luminosity, and then Optic and Energy on the other side of that. Which one are you more excited to see?
I'm curious to see how Optic are going to do, especially because we talked about dark horses. Energy might be one of those dark horses for the NA Pro League. So if they could grab a win versus Optic, that would be a massive get for them. SK obviously going up against domestic matchups, always fun to see. And them coming off of a bit of a disappointing Katowice tournament, they should be looking to get right back on the horse.
Well, let's talk about when you get off that horse and you need to actually reflect on all that success you had or didn't have. Where are you going to do that at?
Well, I would probably go to YouTube and check out some VODs.
You are absolutely right, my friend. YouTube.com/ESLCS. You can go get all the VODs. You can hear Blue and Days talk. You can hear us talk a little bit. But more importantly, you can learn a lot about some of the Counter-Strike that was played today, yesterday, the past couple of weeks. We are only in the 3rd week, but it's all there for the taking as is. And you know what? You've been here 2 days. Which matchup did you enjoy the most?
Probably, I actually really liked that Selfless Liquid game, simply because we got to see some innovation coming out of Liquid, which always warms my heart. So I think
Gets
that
a little tingly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it gets me going. So I think that might have to be the one. At least that's the one that pops into my head immediately.
I think you're absolutely right. But come back tomorrow, and there's a chance you might catch a little bit more of that. We'll be back tomorrow for more ESL Pro League Season 5 here on Week 3. See you guys.